Hello, and welcome to Color Commentary. I'm TJ, and I'll be talking about Young Justice Season 4, Episode 10. Yeah, deep breath, because this time though, this episode gave me some interesting things, and I liked it a lot, and it's starting to ramp up, so we're going to go ahead and go into what I like to call spoilers! Okay, yeah, this episode 10, man. So, we got this Lord of Chaos that came down to take out Clarion, the Witch Boy, who's also a Lord of Chaos. But come to find out that, yeah, she got all of the Chaos Lords backing her to take him out because they tired of him being Savage's whipping boy and doing whatever he want to do, even though he don't feel like he doing that. But yeah, so they coming to take him out. This was just crazy. This broad was super OP, and I don't know, I hate Clarion, but I was kind of feeling for him. Like you don't stand a chance in this. Meanwhile, Zatanna watching it all unfold, getting knocked upside the head and knocked unconscious and everything else, whilst the Phantom Stranger talked to her trainees and then finally take them to her so they could get her and get everything in order. It was just insane. Because first of all, from the last episode when Clarion was choking them out, the one dude, one of her trainees, had to heal them their throats because they was all like choked up and bruised and everything. He was really trying to kill them, so that was funny. And I don't know. I mean, Young Justice has just become funny, and it shouldn't be. It should have funny moments, but it shouldn't be a funny show. And I'm not feeling this. I don't know where they're going with this. It's like what? You know, I don't know. I really honestly don't know what to say about this. In the midst of all of this chaos that's going on, and then the Phantom Stranger going to get Etrigan. Now that was funny. I was glad to see my boy Etrigan. Etrigan the demon. Hit them wonderful poetry lines. Oh yeah. Um, Yeah, it was Jason Blood didn't want to let him out, but he went ahead and let him out because Adana was in trouble and we need to take out this Lord of Chaos. And he's a badass, but he was still getting his ass whooped when he finally made it to the fight, which was in itself was funny because Etrigan ain't no joke, but this Lord of Chaos ain't no joke. She backed by all the Lords of Chaos. So, like I said, meanwhile, while that's going on, we're getting introduced to how Atlantis was created. So apparently Savage had started a village way back when in the BCs. And yeah, so he went traveling, came back. Clarion was destroying the shit, of course. So yeah, this is what happened in that last episode when I told you about with him talking to Clarion. That's when he first met him. So this time around, he left again, came back, and the city had grew so far, and one of his descendants had became an immortal through genealogy. So he had run in Atlantis for like 200 years, and so Vanda was yeah, he was happy to see that. He was like, yeah, my great grandson, yeah. So then he realized because Vandal is always about conquering the planet that the water of the oceans cover most of the planet. So he like, well, even if I conquer all the land, I still don't got the majority of the planet still gonna be something else. So he had this grand idea to sink part of Atlantis. Oh, meanwhile, Arian, his great grandson, he was bestowed with a helmet like device, more like a headband, from the Lords of Order, mind you. So he was like the first Lord of Order on Earth, and so yeah, that. Of course, his son, because of that, was like, no, I'm not finna, because because he had uh, the tech, from the Lords of Order, and then the mutations coming from Vandal's bloodline, making metas, he figured, we sink part of Atlantis, some people gonna die, but for the most part, a lot of them gonna live, and then they'll help conquer the ocean, and Arian was like, hell no. So that didn't go so well. But of course, remember last week, it was supposed to have been 1,000 years, and Clarion was supposed to came back, and sure as shit, Clarion came back. And yeah, Savannah was like, okay, here's the plan. Let's do this. So of course, Clarion went too far. He was only supposed to sink part of the city. He sunk the whole goddamn island. All of it. Under the sea. Under the sea. Under the sea. Yeah, it's gone. So Atlantis was gone. His great-grandson was dead because he got a statue smashed on his head from the city crumbling. Klarion had a ball, and Vandal was sad because he didn't really want everybody to die like that. But, you know, his goal was accomplished, so he was like, well, all's well that ends well. So that's how Atlantis got made, and the metas that lived down there from that point on became the Atlanteans, and, you know, and all of that good stuff with Arthur and, you know, Aquaman and all the rest of them, Aqualad, you know. Yeah, so there's that. So that was an interesting twist on how Atlantis came about in the DC universe for this, whatever universe of DC this is. But yeah, that was probably the most interesting part, because the whole fight with the other girl, Chaos, Lord of Chaos and Klarion, that was just, it was a one-sided fight. It was a one-sided fight. It wasn't gonna work out for Klarion. And guess what? It ain't over. So we're gonna have to deal with this again next week. I like seeing the magic being done and everything, and I love Satana. I even like learning a little bit more about Vandal Savage and what he been doing all these past millennia, you know, on planet Earth ever since, you know, he became an immortal. But at the same time, we're not finna do that. We need more action in this show. We definitely need a bit more action. So I'm hoping that the next few episodes will give us that. And I'm going to see you guys next week, because that's all I got to say about this one. This one was pretty cut and dry, straightforward. There you go. See you guys next week for episode 11. And have a great day.